Hey everyone, Adam here. Super excited to share with you the latest release that is going to be deployed today. So, a couple of really major updates. So, I'd rather spend a little bit more time going into the new updates in depth on this call versus the volume. And so, in the documentation provided, there will be more information associated with either the smaller updates and/or bug fixes that are going to get deployed. So one of the key ones for us this month is the one-to-many. So if you've got a single line item from the supplier, from any vendor of maybe 20 units, and those 20 units need to be allocated to more than one service, this is a real foundational update for us, which we'll build on top of. But now we've got the capability to be able to split those 20 units to more than one place. Okay, so if I come into in behind, like into Microsoft here, within the CRM unit quantity column, which is just reading from multitask or ConnectWise the unit count, whenever you see a little eye icon now, it's indicating that on this account, there's more than one, in this case, Power BI. So the vendor line is Power BI. We've just mapped it to the Power BI within this recurring contract, nothing out of the ordinary there. What the system has then done is it's actually gone to fetch and sum the unit counts if there are more than one known Power BI within the contract. So you can see them down here now. So in behind the edit of the actual line item, what this is telling us now is we've mapped it to this one within Autotask or ConnectWise, and it's just letting us know that, hey, you've got another one here, and we automatically sum those units together to go 13 plus 14 equals 27. And now we're comparing the 22 units from the vendor to 27 units inside the PSA because we've summed them together. You do have the option at this level to unlink that item if you do not need it to be grouped, okay? And also, the reason why it's enabled the grouping at that level for one-to-many is because we told the vendor that we would like to do that. Okay, so when you log in today, there will be a new drop-down available to you in behind this edit section, which is here, which just says grouping strategy. This is set up for the Autotask database, so you may find if you're running ConnectWise that it may be over here, but the same deal. Okay, so the grouping strategy has 3 different components or options. Every one for every vendor, as is today, is really unique identifier level, and that's a one-to-one. What we've set it up for here is same account, contract, and service. So it's going to, when you map it to one contract inside of your ConnectWise or Autotask, it's then just going to try and find matching products or services and sum them together. Or if you wanted to span across the same account and multiple contracts, which is really, really powerful and really handy for if you set up split billing, you've got one tenant needs to go to multiple, or broken out for the customer to see, you've likely got it across different agreements. This will automatically pull them together and compare the unit count from the vendor in one space, in one view. Okay, so if that's then selected, come back into the main view of Microsoft now, and we've now opened this up even further. So the one that we looked at before, there is only one contract with Power BI listed on it. Whereas for this Office E3, you'll see that there's actually many components that have made this up, okay? So if I now click in behind the edit, because we've asked it to span across multi-contracts or agreements and across the entire account, you can now see that it's spanned multiple different contracts and pulling them all back. Same deal, however, where we can absolutely unlink any one of these that you wish to stay standalone. And we're buying 181 and we're selling 182. It just happens to be across 3 different contracts and 5 different services in this instance. Another important update specifically around the Autotask calculations in particular is the refactor of margin calculation. So up until now, the calculations for all margins have all been really looking at arrears. And as of this release, they will now be reading current month. So this has been something that's been pretty heavily requested. So now when you're doing, it's the 1st of May and you're billing for the month of May, it will be reading the sell price coming out of the PSA for the month of May, whereas up until now it's been doing it in arrears and it's been looking at April. So from this point on, all the actual margins that you're reading will be exactly what you're looking for, as well as when you start to view month-on-month changes that from a margin perspective, these will now marry up to exactly the data that you are looking to be able to make decisions on. So one of the gaps that this has now filled is when there's been prorates and changes that have been appended from the month prior, they're now going to be factored into the sell price that's going to be reaching your client, which is important because we're comparing now the cost for a certain month with the sell price from the certain month as well. So your margin accuracy will be bullseye moving forward. So the last of the major ones, and it's really a beginning of a platform shift for us as well. So within the CRM Insights module here, there's a new tab or a new column, which is called Group Quantities. So you'll see where 1 and 1, it just means that there's only one on that account, 13 and 13. But then all of a sudden you've got 90 and 104. It means that there's other services of Skykick backup for Office 365, as an example, that lives in Able Manufacturing. So coming back to the screen where we had all these different line items, in order to see these in a clearer light, you are able to click on this link here, and it will index you and add the relevant filters within the CRM Insights. So you can see exactly what the makeup of, in this case, 5 lines is actually reviewing. So Able E3, you can see it's just been added, and then it's just been indexed down, and that's the makeup of those licenses there. Last but not least, but a nice little closeout on this is within the reconciliation view now, you're able to update the status of the reconciliation, which will then be saved on the main screen, which we'll go to in a sec. So we've also added in from, by request, the in finance package and then invoice paid. So there are 2 additional statuses that you can now use. So if I now move this to waiting approval or maybe approved, when I come back out to the main screen, that's just going to follow it with us.